What's going on, guys? Peter here with One Guy, One Globe, and today I'm going to be talking to you all about the trusted traveler programs that are mainly in North America for Canadian and American citizens. However, there are some countries that do qualify for one of these programs. So stay tuned because you may qualify for one of them. So, what is a trusted traveler program? We have TSA PreCheck, Global Entry, and Nexus. I am a member of the Nexus system, and it allows me global entry as well as TSA PreCheck. So we'll get into that here in a minute. So, what is TSA PreCheck? TSA PreCheck allows you for expedited and streamlined security processing at major airports in the United States. It allows you to leave everything in your bag, including the liquids, bag, your laptop, leave your shoes on, leave your belt on, if you have a light jacket, if you're traveling with a winter jacket, it's going to go into the belt. So you just basically put everything for the x-ray and you walk through the metal detector. The metal detector is slightly lowered compared to the regular one because of your belt and whatnot, but it's because they know who they're dealing with usually through the system. So it is going to cost you $85 for 5 years. You do not have to have a passport, and it's only recommended if you remain traveling only in the United States. So if you only fly domestically in the US, you might as well just get TSA PreCheck. That said, I don't actually recommend this system because global entry for US citizens makes the most sense if you live in basically the vast majority of the United States, and it gives you TSA PreCheck. Now, with TSA PreCheck, when you're making your reservation or after making your reservation, you're going to need to go on and enter your pass ID number that's on the back of your Trusted Traveler card, because you need to do so in order for the airline to know you're part of the program, verify who you are, and to add you for your boarding pass, the TSA PreCheck, or it'll just say PreCheck on your boarding pass itself. If you don't have this little logo here or just saying PreCheck, you don't actually get the benefits of going through that, and you'll have to go through the regular line. So that's just for TSA security. We have global entry and we have Nexus. This allows you into Canada and the United States through the customs for expedited processing. Global entry is only for the United States. Nexus allows you into Canada, and Nexus enrolls you automatically into global entry. So, global entry, you need to be a U.S. or lawful permanent resident of the U.S., as well as certain countries, and we'll get into those in a minute. For Nexus, you have to be a U.S. citizen, a lawful permanent resident of the United States, or a Canadian citizen or a lawful resident of Canada in order to qualify. Global entry is going to cost you $100 for 5 years, where Nexus is $50 for 5 years. This is where it does give you some benefits, though, because if, say, you're a family of 5 and you got 3 kids that are, say, like 2, 8, and 11, Nexus is fabulous for it because it's going to cost you only $100 instead of $250, because the kids are free to be enrolled into this program. So especially if you're near a land border crossing and travel into the United States or into Canada quite frequently, this will save you quite a bit of time and money. So global entry, your passport is required. Nexus, your passport is not required for land or sea crossings, but if you do fly. Global entry, though, upon arrival into the country after you've been approved, that's when you're going to facilitate the process. So say you live in Florida, you fly to the UK, on your way back, you connect through JFK. At that point, you'll finish the process at customs. For Nexus, this is why it only makes sense for Canadians, obviously, and northern states citizens. So if you're a citizen that lives in, say, Washington, Michigan, Montana, look at getting Nexus because you have to actually have an interview with Canadian and U.S. border officials at very specific enrollment centers. So they are along the land border crossings. There are a few of them, but it's mainly in Canada at very specific airports. So like Vancouver, Calgary, Edmonton, like Halifax, Toronto, Montreal, those kind of things. Both of these systems, though, give you TSA PreCheck. So for a U.S. citizen, pay the extra $15. You never know when you're going to leave the country, and therefore you already have TSA PreCheck and global entry all at once. So global entry, though, I did mention there are some countries that do qualify for it. And if you're a citizen of any of these listed countries, and travel to the United States quite frequently. So not just like once a year, I would say at least twice to three times a year or more. I would consider getting into global entry at that point. It makes it so much faster. I arrived into LAX one time during a major arrival time slot, and I walked by everyone and I was through customs in like 25 minutes. It was amazing. Didn't have to stand in line. It was just process through the flow, grab my bag, and I was gone. Now, oops, how to use the system. So global entry, you're going to need your passport. Bottom left-hand corner of that picture, you see the machine readable. You insert your picture page into the machine. At that point, you're going to need to take all your fingers, place it down onto the green screen, and it's going to, at that point, verify your identity. It's going to take your photo. You're going to do your declaration card. It's like anything over $10,000 in cash, like meats, seeds, fruits, anything like that. There is a no to all option, and at that point it prints out a little sheet of paper. You hand that off to the border official and off on your merry way you go. For Nexus, you actually enter your Nexus card into the passport reader. It does have a RFID chip into it, and it's going to read that information. This machine here specifically, you're going to, above the screen, you can see there's an iris reader. It's going to read your eyes and then verify your identification that way. Now, anyone who has a passport that has the chip into it, it's actually going to, rather than use your iris, it's going to do a facial recognition of your passport photo to your face as you're standing there and verify your ID that way. And then at that point, similar to global entry, you're going to do your declaration and then process through. When you're arriving at a land border, you can hand them your Nexus card, you can hand them your passport, either or. If you are going through the Nexus dedicated lanes, you're going to need to hold your Nexus card out the window for the RFID to read that. And at that point, you just process up to the customs official and off on your merry way you go. So ultimately, which one's right for you will come down to where you live in the United States. In Canada, there's only one right option because there's only one option available. So I'm going to leave links in the description below that lead to all three of these programs and for you to make the decision of which one is right for you. As well, please leave any comments in the comments section for any questions you may have in relation to this, and I'll try to answer them as best as I can. Since this is one of my new videos, please consider subscribing. I'm planning on putting out more videos like this, as well as when I get to travel again as the restrictions start to lift. I do have a major trip planned for next year that will involve cruising, and will be a lot of vlogs as well as touring on the cruise ship itself. As well as, if you like this video, if it gave you some well-informed information, please consider hitting that like button. It helps me know that I am producing good content for you. And until the next one, please stay safe, and I'll see you guys all in the next one.